Hello. Today in yoga class, we're going to be focusing on mobility, and that is your range of motion. And simply, mobility is doing what you want to do when you want to do it, living your life. And oftentimes, people come to yoga class and they think that they need to be more flexible when perhaps they need a little bit of mobility training. And that is one of the wonderful aspects of our yoga practice is that we become more mobile. So welcome to class. We are going to begin standing. If you would like to come with me and the music, you can go ahead and start your Spotify playlist. We're going to come into mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart. You could turn your palms forward and you can soften your knees a little bit and feel into the edges of your feet. If you like, you could close your eyes. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose if possible. Arriving in this place, in this moment. Present, mindful, interested, and curious. If you like, you can begin to shift your body weight a little bit front to back. And then maybe side to side, shifting, engaging the core here to stabilize. And if you like, you could try circling around the base. Circling around. Noticing the direction that you're traveling, you can go the other way. And then we're going to find our way back to neutral spine, tail tucked, engaging the core. We're going to shift our body weight over to one side. And if you need to, you can hold on to something here. But we're going to lift our foot and we're going to begin to explore range of motion or mobility in the ankle and in the foot, maybe even into the toes. Now let's take this into the knee hinge joint. Flexion and extension, balancing. And then maybe up into the hip, circling around. Much larger range of motion here. One direction, other direction. You could keep it small. Or you could begin to use your arms as counterbalance. We're going to get ready to place that foot back down, and same hand as the foot, we're going to begin to move the fingers and the wrists. See if you can find mobility in your finger joints, in your thumb. Elbow joint like the knee, hinge, touching the shoulder, extension and contraction. If you know that you are prone to hyperextension here, just keep a little bend in the elbow. And then up into the shoulder, like the hip joints, lots of mobility. Could even watch the hand to get the head and the neck and the spine engaged. And when you're ready, switching to the other foot, shifting body weights, begin to move your toes, your ankle, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion of the foot at the ankle joint, and then knee. Isolate. And then up into the hip, circling, forward and back, keeping it small, or using your arms as counterbalance. Chest. Let's bring that foot back down. We're going to bring it into the same hand, same side, fingers, wrists, elbow, touch. Breathe. Shoulders, head and eye, and maybe even spine movement. Breathe. Notice what feels good to your body. And when you're ready, let's bring it back to center. Taking a deep breath in, extend your arms nice and strong up. And exhale soft down through center. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in strong. And exhale down soft. And last one, breath in. Exhale down. Okay. We're going to find our way to the front of our mat. If you have blocks, they might be helpful or useful for you today. You could also use a chair or a stool or books. We're going to take a deep breath in and we're going to come into our forward fold. Palms together, coming down to the heart. You could come over with a straight back. And if you can't reach the floor, you could use your blocks to help you. Remember to pay attention to your low back. If this doesn't feel good to your low back, bending the knees should help. We want the head to relax down towards the floor, so no tension in your neck. Now from here, we need to get the hands to the floor. So if they don't reach, see if you can bring your knees, bend your knees, and bring your hands down next to your feet. We're going to step the right foot back, and we're going to drop the knee. You can always pad the knee here if you like. Bringing the top of the foot down, we're going to reach up. Arms next to your ears, straight up into the sky. Now from here, we're going to grab hold of the right arm using your fingers of your left hand and do a little side bend. So this is a balance pose, so find something to gaze at that is stable, that is non-moving, and just find a little side bend right here. If that doesn't feel good to you, you do not need to side bend. And then take a deep breath in and come back to center. Let's bring our hands down by the front foot, and we're going to step that front leg back, coming into our child's pose, knees wide. Your belly can rest between your thighs, and if you like, bringing your head down, arms out. Sinking your hips back towards your heels. Notice how this feels to your body. Take some deep breaths. From here, we are going to sit up. So using your core strength, coming up with a straight back. Hands come back behind the body, interlacing the fingers if possible, and then straighten the arms, and then see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades. So opening up our chest. Super important these days as we hunch over way too much. We're going to bring ourselves back onto all fours, and we're going to keep our hands out beyond our shoulders. So let's circle the hips. So circling in one direction, coming around. Notice that low back as you come forward. So it's a little circle of the hips, spine warming up, hip joints warming up, shoulders. Mobility. Now notice the direction that you're traveling and circle the other way. You could make this very small or you could make it bigger, depending upon your body. We don't want any sharp shooting pain or tingling or numbness. We just want it to feel like a good stretch to the body. And let's take it one more time around. And then we're going to stop in kneeling plank, which is right here. So notice that my knees are behind my hips, and I'm pressing down through my whole hand. And I'm going to lower myself, elbows back. And I'm going to bring my hands, my elbows underneath my shoulders. And we're going to come up into Sphinx pose. So lifting the heart. Maybe you don't want to lift too high. Maybe it feels good to lift, pressing the pelvis and the tops of the feet down. And your shoulders come down away from your ears, so lengthening your neck. Taking a deep breath in, let's bring it back down. We're going to bring the hands back underneath. We're going to curl our toes, and we're going to come into our very first downward facing dog. So remember that you could always keep your knees bent here, or you can begin to straighten the legs. Heels can come down towards the floor, and pressing through the whole hand. My arms are straight, my back is straight, my tailbone is up in the sky. Okay, let's walk the hands back towards the feet. We're going to tuck our tail and see if it feels okay to roll up. Stacking pelvis, chest, and head. We're going to do some of that on the other side. So coming forward, we step back with the right foot. The first time, if you used your blocks for your forward fold, you can place them in front of you or your chair. Taking a deep breath up. Coming back down, forward fold. You can place your hands on the blocks, head towards the floor. You could also grab opposite elbows. You don't need to have your arms touching anything at this point. Just feel yourself relax into gravity. Now we need to get our hands down to the floor so we can step that left foot back. So bending your knees deeply, stepping the left foot back, and we're going to drop the knee. Coming up, other side. You could put the top of the foot on the mat. We're going to hold it here, balance. Now, if you want to try bending to the side, the right arm reaches around the left wrist, and we have a little side bend, keeping that front leg in alignment. Balance, breathe. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring it back to center. Hands come down. We're going to take that front leg back, and we're going to come into our extended child's pose right here. Breathe. Coming onto your seated position up. Hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, open your chest. You could look up a little bit, keeping a little tuck in your chin and a little tension in your neck to support your spine. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring it back out. We're going to come onto all fours, this time stacking shoulders over hips. You could curl your toes if you want a little bit more flexibility in the bottoms of your feet, or keep the tops of the feet down. So cat-cow, we're going to arch the spine and then look up. So exhale as we draw the navel into the spine. Inhale. Press the mat away. Fingers are active, they're spread. You're pressing through the whole hand and not just the heel of the hand. Okay, one more time. Hands come out beyond into your plank position, kneeling, elbows back behind the body. Drop your hands down, and this time we're going to see if we can find our range of motion in our back bend without pressing into the floor. So, hovering your hands underneath your shoulders, hover them above the mat, and then keeping the feet on the floor, just lift a little bit. Using your back. So your core is not just the front of your body, but it is also the back, and it is also the sides. Range of motion here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. See if you can keep your face soft and your neck relaxed. Take a deep breath in one more time. And then release. We're going to press back onto all fours and then into our downward dog. Second one of the day. Pressing the mat away, tailbone to the sky, knees bent or legs straight. Walking your hands back towards your feet. We're going to either come up with a straight back or you can roll up. You decide. We're going to step towards the front of the mat. We're going to come into warrior 2, stepping the right foot back. Now we're going to find stability in our base. We want to make sure that that front leg is not tracking in. It needs to be tracking over the pinky toe side of your foot. Your back foot is turned in, and at this point we are stacked. So it's easy to think you need to be like this, but see if you can get your shoulders right over your hips. And then we're going to bring our hands out. Warrior. The mantra, I am. I exist. I have the right to exist. I am. Now, keeping that front leg bent, we're going to bring the back arm down and we're going to turn the palm of the front arm up and we're going to side bend to the back. It's very easy to come out of that front leg. So see if you can bend a little bit, maybe even a little bit deeper in that. Tucking the tail, engaging your low belly. You could look out, you could look up, you could even maybe look down at your back foot. neck mobility. We're going to take a deep breath in and come back up. We're going to step the back foot in just a little bit, maybe a foot or so. And we're going to come into our pose of the day, which is pyramid pose, which is Parsvottanasana. Pyramid pose, our pose of the day. So my hips turn towards facing the front of my mat. The blocks will be helpful here, possibly. And I could come over, straightening my back. My front leg is straight. Maybe I just want to stop here. Maybe I want to grab my blocks so that I can more deeply come into this incredible stretch on the front leg, hamstring. You can feel it all the way from the pelvis down to the ankle. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana, pose of the day. Now we're going to bend that front leg and step that back leg forward, coming into forward fold. Maybe you can come a little bit deeper into your forward fold. And then you could bring your hands to your hip creases, bend the knees a little bit, and come up with a very straight spine. We're going to do our other side. So stepping back into warrior two with the left leg. Lining up, taking your time, lining up your heel and your instep. Students typically do not come into wide enough stance here. So if you find yourself like feeling constricted and your knees coming out over your ankle, you need to widen your stance. The wider the stance, I think, the more stability you feel in this pose. Now coming into exalted warrior, palm up. Extending the spine as we come over, keeping the bend in the front leg. Notice range of motion in your spine. Breathe. Coming back out nice and slow. We're going to step that back leg forward just a little bit. And we're going to line up my heel with my back heel, and my back foot is turned out at an angle. Hips come towards the front of the mat, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not hyperextending that front leg. So coming over, maybe you just want to place your hand on your thigh. Maybe you want to bring your hands down to the blocks or to the floor. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose, our pose of the day. One of my favorite poses. When you're ready, we're going to bend that front leg. Coming forward, we're going to step that back leg to meet the one that is already there. Forward fold. And if you find this is easy, you might try straightening your body so it's more vertically aligned. You could bring your arms out and get your legs more straight. And then work your belly towards your thighs. When you're ready, hands towards your hips creases, bending the knees and coming up with a straight back. Okay, we're going to find our way into seated position. And we're going to come into what is called Mermaid's pose. So the right leg can come back, the left leg can come center. And if this does not feel good, you could always extend this leg. You could always bend it. We'll do that in a minute. So we're going to just feel into this pose. See if you can get your shoulders stacked over your hips. Okay, close your eyes and reach the crown of your head up. Nice long spine. Now this back leg is going to come, so it like plants whole foot. And then just see how this feels, like everyday kind of posture. And we're going to begin to move this foot. We're going to take it to the front. And we're going to take it to the back. So you could lean forward with each of those foot plants. Range of motion. Now, when you're ready, see how far you can bring that leg across. Maybe it's right here, maybe it's even back here. Everything is just fine. If you can, you could bring your foot all the way over and stack your knees so that you can sit up nice and straight. So feeling into this this pose, pretty intense on this top hip coming over. And then let's unwind those legs and take the feet a little shoulder width apart and then take them side to side, just to reestablish some kind of equilibrium. Now we're going to do the other side. So other leg back, other leg in, finding your seated position. Notice how it feels. Taking that back leg, planting it, leaning, taking it forward and around, leaning. We're looking for range of motion here. Mobility. Oh, I forgot the hanging out pose. Yeah. And then taking it all the way as far as you can, maybe right here, maybe stacking the knees, breathing into the intensity of this hip stretch. Sitting up nice and straight. Closing your eyes, seeing if you can relax into the pose. And then let's unwind those legs, taking the feet wide. You could bring your hands to the back, fingertips towards the front, a little mobility in the wrists, and then take your knees side to side. We're going to bring our feet hip width apart, and I want you to just squeeze your shoulder blades and see how it feels to have your fingers facing your feet. Could look up. This is the beginning of inverted table, which is lifting the hips, coming into a flat table as best you can. If this doesn't feel good, don't do this at this point in your yoga practice. Always options to deepen or to lessen the experience or lessen the the range of motion. Okay, coming back to center. Let's bring your hands to the backs of your thighs and roll down nice and slow. Knees come into your chest. Can give them a squeeze if you like and gently rock side to side. Now we're going to bring our hands out, palms down, and I want you to stabilize your shoulders. We're going to try a different spinal twist by bringing both knees together over to one side, keeping the shoulder on the floor. Can you come all the way over? If you need to, you can lift that shoulder up a little bit, but then work on moving it back down. Could look the opposite direction of your knees and feel into this twist. Bring your head back to center. Now engaging the core. See if you can lift those legs together, a little strength, flexing the feet, active feet. Pressing the shoulders down. See if you can come to the other side. Maybe turning your head the other direction. If your shoulder comes up a little bit, that's okay. Just work on getting it back down. Breathe. And we're going to lift both legs up. And we're going to come into a mobility exercise where we keep our low back onto the ground and we just extend the arms and the legs in any direction, in any way, together or opposite. We're just looking for mobility. Nice and slow. If you want to engage your core and build core strength, you could lift your head and shoulders up and press your low back down. So when your low back starts to feel compromised, starts to feel like it's coming up off the ground, you want to keep the movement slower. And you want to maybe put your head and shoulders back onto the ground if you need to. We're going to prepare here for final relaxation. Breathing. And when you're ready, setting up for final relaxation, you could move in any way that you think might feel good to your body prior to coming onto your back. So just thinking about how you move, how does the body work? And then finding your way onto your back body, feet hip width apart, coming out. You could always place a pillow under your knees, or if you have low back issues, you could bend your knees and let your knees fall into each other. That is a way to experience final relaxation, if you like. Palms up, arms out. And then if you like, you could close your eyes. Feel how this practice has affected your body, your mind, your spirit. You want to keep your body supple, able to move. You want to keep your mind supple and able to change. And you can feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Feeling into this beautiful present moment.